Hi seniors, we're starting Unit 3 today. We're going to look at laws of supply and demand. Our big question is, how do demand and price interact? You can find the learning objective self-evals on page 44 in the unit packet. Today we're going to graph and analyze the law of demand with individual and market demand schedules, and we'll graph and explain how changing prices create changes in quantity demanded. And we will continue to work with new key terms. We have 5 standards for this new assessment. Our assessment date is scheduled for March 29th. The key terms, you can find them on the front page of the unit packet. And then if we look at our do now, you filled out the information for table 1 based on your own preferences. This is the information or the data that I put together for myself if I were to purchase these big bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And you'll notice that as the price increases, the quantity that I demand goes down. And those are the first 2 key terms that we have: demand, the amount of a good or service that we're willing and able to buy at all prices. So the total demand here would be 24 bags, versus the quantity demanded, which is the amount of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at a specific price. So for example, at $1.25, the quantity demanded is 10 bags. So just like how the word marginal changes the meaning of benefit and cost, the word quantity changes the word of demand, or the meaning of demand. In table 2 then, we can continue this, and if we insert the data that we had from table 1 in the first column, and then we gather information from classmates, and then we add those numbers across, and in the last column here we can label that market. This is on your do now as well. You add those columns across, and you're going to have a new set of data, and we're going to call this a market demand schedule. And so a demand schedule is a table that lists the quantities of a good that one person will buy at various prices. And you can have either an individual demand schedule, like your table 1, or you can have a market demand schedule, like your table 2. And then we can analyze this data, and we can identify that as price goes up, then quantity goes down, and as price goes down, quantity goes up, and this is the same for everybody, whether individually or in the market. So we define that as the law of demand, and it says that consumers will buy more of a good or service as the price decreases, and that's how we illustrate the law of demand. It's always a negative slope. The demand curve is always a negative slope, and there's an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So price will always be on the y-axis, quantity is always on the x-axis. And so we can graph that. If we go back to our table 1 and we graph it, you're going to plot that data on a set of axes, and we can label our axes P and Q, and then you're going to identify your quantities here. And you'll use the data that you have in your table. It'll look something different, but ultimately you'll get something that looks like this, and we want to label it D1. And so that will be a demand curve for your data. And then you can do the same thing for the market demand schedule. And then in your notes, you'll want to copy down this graphic organizer, and we're going to fill it out today and tomorrow. And for today, we want to identify that there are a couple of things that influence demand or affect demand. One of them is price. And along with price, maybe we'll want to add the term quantity demanded, Q sub D for quantity demanded, because anytime price changes, it's going to be a change in quantity demand. There's other non-price factors that also affect demand. We'll be looking at those another day. So if we focus on price and see how that creates a change in quantity demanded, it means that we're going to have movement along the demand curve. And so here's an example of what that might look like. If we start out at point A, that's our original price and quantity. And then if the price decreases to P2, we're going to be at point B. And the result is that we went from A to B. And so sometimes we'll show that by drawing an arrow like this that shows movement down the curve. Or if we're having movement up the curve, it will go in the opposite direction. But here's the key point here is that price is decreasing and quantity is increasing. And because of this inverse relationship, we have movement down the curve. And so we practice that together with this scenario, and we always set these up the same. We always start off with our axes, and then we're going to label our axes, and this is what you should just get in the habit of doing all the time. And then if price rises from $2.50 to $3, I'm going to say that this is P sub 1. Oops, I'm sorry. We also need our demand curve. And then that will be our point on the curve, and here will be Q sub 1 for quantity 250. And then it says the price rises, and so let's put P2 up here. We hit the curve here, and Q2 will be down here. And so what we have is that our quantity demanded decreases, our price increased. And so this is our starting point. We're going to have movement up the curve. And so we describe it this way. This creates a change in quantity demanded. There's movement up the demand curve, which is a decrease because the prices rise. So this example you can do on your own. Pause the video. Try it on your own. Here it is. And then resume the video and check your answer. Alright, let's take a look at this one together. We always start off with our axes, and we should always remember to label our axes, P and Q. In this case, the price, we need our demand curve. The price of pizza decreases. The price decreases, and so we're going to start here with P1, and we're going to hit the demand curve right there. We'll have our Q1 right here for our first quantity, and then if the price decreases, let's say it goes down here, and we're going to be at Q2 right here. And so what we have is we have movement down the demand curve. And we can explain that this way. This creates a change in quantity demanded. There's movement down the demand curve because prices increase. Your homework is to read about the non-price factors in Chapter 5.3. And for a ticket out, there's one more practice problem here, taking a look at the scenario. As always, reach out if you have any questions. We'll see you in class.